welcome back to Lotus Literature. If you're new here, my name is Amy and today I'm going to be filming the Booktube Newbie Tag, which is a video that I've been seeing a lot on Booktube lately and I thought I'd give it a go myself. So there are currently 10 questions in the tag. Some of them I'm going to have a bit more of an answer for than others because I haven't been on here long. Quick side rant. I did actually plan to have a study with me up, but halfway through I realised I hadn't pressed record, so you're getting this instead, but hopefully this is just as interesting and you can get to know a bit more about me, the kind of books I want to read. Because I feel like with all the videos I've filmed so far, you kind of only see like the books that I am going to read, but I haven't really discussed kind of what my general interests are, like in a bit more detail. So hopefully today that will be bit clearer for you and you might get to know a bit more about me and my kind of literary tastes. So the first question on the tag, if I'm looking down it's because I've got the questions kind of leaned up against my really dodgy setup. The first question is, why did I start this channel? If you saw my last video, you'll know that I used to have super bad anxiety and in the last year or so it's gotten like a whole lot better. The whole video explains that. You should go watch it if you want to know a bit more about mental health awareness and just kind of coping with anxiety in general. But I actually started this channel, one, as a hobby, kind of while I start my second year of university, two, because now I'm, as I keep saying, back into reading. I really want to share my passion with as many people as possible. And three, just because I think it's good for me, like confidence-wise, if I want to go into a career in like English and linguistics, and there's a lot of teaching, like journalism, kind of public speaking involved in that. And I think the fact that I've managed to come this far means that I should set myself a new challenge, which is why I pretty much created this channel. And it's a place for people who follow me on Bookstagram, who know me personally, maybe want to like learn a bit more about books and reading, want to get into it a bit more. This is just a little outlet for you guys to come to kind of find new things to read, find new things to study, and just to hear me waffle occasionally if you want to. The second question says, what are some fun and unique things that I can bring to Booktube? I think the fact that I read books from a wide variety of genres, so I like fantasy, I actually really like classics now, like gothic classics, things like Dracula, Frankenstein. I actually really liked Little Women as well, so I've kind of got the basis of that. I like horror, I like the latest thriller, like I've just read The Chain by Adrian McKinty. I really enjoyed that. If you watched my September TBR video, you haven't, you should, but I talk about how I saw it all over Bookstagram. I really wanted to read it. I've just finished it. I finished it in 2 days and it was brilliant. But some of the unique things, like I study at university, so I'll be able to not just do Booktube, but academia videos, kind of talking about mental health, which I've already done, like a day in the life of a student, kind of a room tour, like how I personally study. Just like, I won't just be talking about books, I'll be talking about a lot of other kind of academia related things, which I think is really good for like generally on Booktube, like to be able to integrate all my other studies into books, which I'm pretty much studying anyway, so. The third question, I can't actually read. What am I most excited for about this new channel? I'd say my channel is still relatively new, like it doesn't matter about numbers to me at the moment. I'm just happy to be able to have the confidence to make this, mainly because no one else is in my house at the moment and they're coming in like a week, so I feel like as soon as they get here, if uploads stop, then I'm just too nervous to talk in front of people. But I'm really excited, as with Bookstagram, to find new channels to watch, meet new people, find like-minded people, kind of find videos that motivate me to read and study. Because I've found with channels like Ruby Granger, coming up to A-levels, I used to watch a lot of her study with me videos and it really motivated me to get off my arse, go over to my desk and just crack down with like an hour or two of studying. So I'm really excited to just meet new people and make new discoveries, maybe find some new favourite books. The fourth question is quite simple. Why do I love reading? I love reading because it's escapism, it's like a glimpse into the author's imagination, their personal experiences, what they like to read maybe. Like I want to write about what I like to read, so I wouldn't go and write something in like a classic style because that's not necessarily something that I like. I say I like classics, but I like gothic classics, so I wouldn't go and write something in like Jane Austen style, if you see where I'm coming from. But I love reading because I'm able to experience like new worlds, fall in love with new characters, like, and get inspiration for my own fiction that I really want to write, but I just don't have the time to kind of get started with that at the moment. But you kind of like, there's so much with reading. Like you can go for non-fiction, you can go for fiction, you can read life stories, fantasy, worlds that people have created in their own time, and it's just so intriguing to kind of get that glimpse into other people's imaginations and what they like to create. Question 5, what book series got me into reading? When I was younger, I obviously read stuff like Harry Potter, like there were these Beast Quest books. I think that's what first got me into fantasy. Molly Moon, I remember that being a really good book with her little dog. But I think like the Rainbow Magic books I actually really loved as a girl, because like I would wake up in the morning before school and I remember sitting there colouring the little pictures in, which some of you are going to hate me for, like defacing a book, but I was only like 9 or 10, so please let me off. I think now that I'm a teenager, books like, I think kind of just general like horror books, like Stephen King books, thrillers, like I quite liked, I had a Dan Brown phase, so I've got all his books at home. I read The Hobbit and then I went straight into reading The Lord of the Rings, and then I had read The Handmaid's Tale for A-level, which got me into looking more into dystopian fiction. Then I read The Testaments, I read Jamaica Rin and Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, which got me into more like gothic classics. And I think as I've gotten older, finding more books, like styles that I enjoy, really opens up the pathways to find other things that I'd like to read. Like Frankenstein and Rebecca led me to Jamaica Inn and Dracula, for instance. So I think it's really good to kind of read from all different genres, even when you grow up, like to go from reading Rainbow Magic to Dracula. I know it's a big like transition, but I think at different points in your life you're into different things. So a lot of series got me into reading properly. I apologise if the angle's changed a little bit, my camera just decided to die for no reason, and so half the video might be a bit screw with, so apologies there. But question 6 is, what questions would I ask my favourite booktubers? Recently I have found the channel A Clockwork Reader and I've been really enjoying her content. Actually I've only been watching her older content because I know she's been on the platform for like 5 or 6 years, which is incredible. Like that's as if I started when I was 14 and my videos at 14 were not great. I had a makeup channel. That was a disaster. But I don't think I can actually ask or formulate any questions at the moment, maybe because I haven't really gotten into watching other booktubers as regularly as I would like at the moment. But I would say, like, had she not made her popular books that I don't really like series, I would say, what are some popular books that booktubers don't like? It's interesting to see how people's opinions really differentiate. So I could absolutely love a book, it could be the best book I've ever read, and yet someone else could hate it. Take today, for instance, on Twitter, I saw someone make a post about what their like least favourite books are, like the worst book you've ever read, and I saw someone type The Kite Runner under it, which is one of my personal favourite books ever, so I was quite offended. But going back to the question, I think that is one of the things I would ask some booktubers that I start watching, like if you haven't made a like video or series on it, what are some really popular books that just weren't your cup of tea? Question 7, what challenges will be hardest to overcome when starting this channel? I think confidence. At the moment my house is empty, but my flatmates, my housemates are actually moving in this weekend, so I think the confidence to kind of talk this loud about this kind of thing while they're here and not be embarrassed about having the channel. Someone could be here for all I know and I've not said, like, I always go, hello, is anyone here? When I come in, no answer. But I know people have been in the house a bit to move some stuff in. And I feel like knowing that they're in here would just put me off, but I have to kind of get past that and say, like, I just want to do this is my hobby. I think upload schedule, what with second year starting in a few weeks and the amount of studying that I really need to crack down on this year, the mixed match of in-person and online learning is going to be really confusing for me at times, really stressful. So I think having like a work-life balance, I would put this in more of my life balance at the moment, because it's just a little hobby that I enjoy. Reading is my hobby, this is my hobby, like Bookstagram is my hobby. So I think those are the main challenges that I'm going to have to overcome. Question 8, when did I start reading? I started reading when I was tiny. I remember my parents reading The Three Little Pigs to me every night. And I also remember, this is more in regards to writing, but my dad always had, there was like this blackboard and chalk in my room, and every night he used to write a difficult word for me on the board just to check that I could pronounce it. And one of the words that I really remember him writing is pterodactyl, because of the silent P at the start, just to kind of catch me out. Like, it was quite sweet. But I started reading when I was really young, had a period throughout my teenage years in school where I wasn't reading for pleasure at all. Not to make a distasteful joke, but I think at 19 I've now had like a second wave of reading. So I'd say I started reading when I was really young, and I've restarted reading properly now that I'm 19. Question 9, where do I read? I like reading in bed with a lamp sort of next to me or behind me. I just like being comfy and cozy, especially in autumn and winter. Like when I did read for pleasure, or even if I was reading like a book for school or uni in first year, when I did eventually get my readings done, I would like tuck up in my blankets because it would be like the dead of winter. I'd get all my blankets, get all my teddies, just snuggle up with my book, and I really enjoyed that. But in summer, I actually really do like reading outside. Like Alex's house around the corner, he's got a little table and chairs and an umbrella outside. I liked reading there sort of July, August when we first moved in. Here in my garden, I don't know if you can see it, it's kind of quite long and there's not really anywhere to sit, and there's too many wasps, so yeah, I just like reading outside and in bed depending on the seasons. And the final question, what kind of books do I like to read? I think I've already covered this a little bit, but like I say, I like thrillers, horror, fantasy, young adult. I'm open to reading anything really. Like if I see someone put up a really good, really moving and really well thought out review of a book, I will most likely buy it and give it a go at some point if it's something that really intrigues me. As I've mentioned in the last few questions, I'm really into gothic classics, Dracula, sort of Rebecca, Frankenstein, dystopian fiction. I'd love to read more of that. I love to read more things like The Hunger Games, like I want to read The Maze Runner at some point. I'm open to giving Twilight a go, but it's really not my thing. It's just a bit too like soppy teen trash for me. Like it's not the kind of thing I'm into. But like I say, I'd be willing to give everything a go at least once, just to see if I like it or not. So those are all the questions in the Booktube Newbie Tag. I hope you enjoyed getting to know a bit more about me and what kind of books I like to read in general, what kind of content I hope to keep making on this channel. I'd just like to say thank you for all the support on the channel lately, on my Bookstagram, Book Twitter. I joined that a few days ago, and I'm getting to know a lot more people there too, a lot more booktubers, and just book bloggers in general. But thank you for your time today, and like I say, I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, leave a comment if there's anything you'd like me to kind of speak about further, or you want me to make another video on anything that's kind of more specific, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for your time, and goodbye.